Scary telling. I sat at the dimly lit dive bar, the air heavy with a mixture of cigarette smoke and cheap liquor. Across from me, my date leaned in, his eyes glinting with an unsettling intensity. The conversation had taken a dark turn, veering into the realms of the macabre. "How do you think the world will end?" he asked, his voice low and almost sinister. Caught off guard, I hesitated before answering. "That's kind of a weird question, isn't it?" He smirked, his lips curling into a sly smile. "I don't know," he responded. "Is it?" Unease settled in the pit of my stomach, but I brushed it aside, trying to maintain a semblance of normalcy. Disease? "Maybe everyone will get very sick," I proposed tentatively. His eyes widened with a strange fascination. Maybe," he murmured, stroking his chin thoughtfully. Curiosity mingled with discomfort as I probed further. "What do you think?" He leaned back, as if lost in contemplation. "Perhaps there will be fire," he suggested, his voice low and deliberate. "Fire?" I repeated, my eyebrows knitting together in confusion. "Are you serious?" He nodded slowly, his gaze fixed on some invisible point in the distance. "Yes. Fire. A human's connective tissue will begin to melt at around 200 degrees Fahrenheit," he added, his tone matter of fact. I recoiled, a chill running down my spine. This conversation had taken an alarming turn. "What are you, a scientist?" I asked, hoping against hope that he was joking. He shrugged, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Sure, you could say that." The atmosphere grew stifling, and I desperately searched for an escape from this unsettling discussion. "Well, cheers to the end of the world," I said, lifting my glass and downing the remainder of my drink in one gulp. But he wasn't done. He leaned in closer, his eyes gleaming with an intensity that made my skin crawl. "What else?" he asked, his voice a whisper. I frowned, a sense of unease settling over me. "What else what?" I replied, my voice tinged with apprehension. "The way we all die," he continued, his tone tinged with a morbid fascination. "Disease. Fire. What else?" Discomfort twisted into outright fear, and I felt trapped in this web of his dark curiosity. "I don't know, man," I stammered, my voice trembling. "Nuclear war?" His eyes lit up, and he snapped his fingers with an unsettling exuberance. "Yes," he exclaimed. A flash of light. Poof. My heart pounded in my chest, my senses overwhelmed by the weight of the conversation. I downed the last remnants of my drink, hoping to drown the growing unease. "Do you want another?" he asked, his voice dripping with an eerie anticipation. The alarm bells in my head grew louder, and I knew I had to get out of there. "Actually, I should probably go," I said hastily, grabbing my bag and standing up. He looked at me, his smile fading slightly. "Are you sure?" he asked, his words laced with an unsettling edge. A shiver ran down my spine, and I could no longer ignore the feeling of impending danger. "Why wouldn't I be sure?" I replied, my voice quivering. His whisper sent a chill through my entire being. "Because we haven't made our decision yet." Fear clawed at my chest, and I realized that this encounter had taken a sinister turn. "You're freaking me out," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "I'm going home." He offered an apologetic smile, but it did little to ease my growing terror. "I'm sorry," he said softly. I thought it would be easier if I gave you a choice." Every fiber of my being screamed for me to flee, and I didn't need a second invitation. Without looking back, I walked out of the bar, the cold night air hitting me like a welcome reprieve. I glanced back briefly, and my blood ran cold when I saw him standing at the window, his eyes fixed on me, a disturbing smile on his face. As I hurriedly hailed an Uber, my mind raced with unanswered questions. Decision. He had called it a decision. But why? What was he planning? And why did he seem so fascinated by the horrors of the world's end? Lost in my thoughts, I barely noticed the woman coughing violently on the sidewalk. I turned to face her, a sense of unease crawling up my spine. Was she homeless? Or was there something more sinister at play? Before I could ponder further, my Uber arrived, the driver gesturing for me to get in. Grateful for the temporary respite, I climbed into the car, eager to escape the unsettling encounters of the night. Thank God, I muttered under my breath, about to utter my gratitude to the driver. But my words died in my throat as the driver suddenly spat blood all over the windshield, the red liquid creating grotesque patterns reminiscent of Rorschaching blots. Panic gripped me, and I realized the true horror of the situation. He was sick, and now, I feared, I was beginning to feel it too. The realization that I may be infected with whatever plagued the Uber driver sent shockwaves through my entire being. Panic tightened its grip on my chest, and my mind raced to make sense of the eerie encounters and their connection to the impending sickness. Desperation fueled my quest for answers as I delved into research, spending countless hours poring over articles, medical journals, and conspiracy theories. The pieces of a disturbing puzzle started to come together, revealing a hidden world of secret organizations and their nefarious plots. As my physical condition deteriorated, the symptoms growing more pronounced with each passing day, I became consumed by a sense of urgency. The clock was ticking, and time was no longer on my side. I confronted my date, hoping he would shed some light on the darkness that had enveloped my life. He met my gaze with a mixture of guilt and fascination, confessing his involvement in the secret organization responsible for orchestrating the impending catastrophe. It was never just a date, he admitted, his voice laced with regret. I was sent to test your reaction, to see if you were worthy of joining our cause. Anger surged within me, intermingled with fear and betrayal. Worthy? Join your cause? What kind of sick game are you playing? I spat, my voice trembling with a mix of fury and desperation. He explained their twisted ideology, a belief that they had the power to decide the fate of humanity. They sought to unleash a deadly disease upon the world, viewing it as a necessary cleansing, a way to rid the world of its supposed impurities. Determined to survive and put an end to their monstrous plans, I embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the truth and expose their insidious plot. Every step of the way, I encountered danger, narrowly escaping close calls and confrontations with members of the organization. Paranoia plagued my every move as I realized I couldn't trust anyone. Friends, strangers, even those I thought were allies could be part of this twisted web. The symptoms of the illness gnawed at my body and mind, weakening me, but also fueling my determination to bring down the organization before it was too late. I sought allies in the shadows, individuals who shared my desire to expose the truth and protect humanity. Together, we unraveled the threads of their conspiracy, exposing the true extent of their sinister motives. The organization's leaders were not driven by a sense of cleansing or noble cause. They reveled in chaos, in the power they wielded over life and death. In a climactic confrontation, I confronted the mastermind behind it all, the orchestrator of this cruel game. The battle that ensued was fierce and fraught with peril, a desperate struggle for survival and the fate of the world. In the end, I managed to thwart their immediate plans, but the lingering uncertainty remained. The world teetered on the edge of catastrophe, and the organization's influence was far-reaching. Could humanity ever truly be saved from their destructive tendencies? As I emerged battered but victorious, I couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that there was more work to be done. The story didn't end with the defeat of the mastermind. It was a battle won, but the war against darkness and the human capacity for cruelty raged on. Haunted by the encounters, plagued by the illness that continued to ravage my body, I understood that the fight was far from over. The shadow of the organization loomed large, and the true extent of their reach was yet to be revealed. With newfound determination, I vowed to continue my pursuit of justice and truth, to protect the innocent from those who sought to manipulate and destroy. The world may have narrowly escaped one catastrophe, but the scars ran deep, and the horrors I witnessed would forever be etched in my mind. The chilling question remained, would I ever truly be free from the clutches of the darkness that had enveloped my life? Only time would tell as I embarked on a path fraught with uncertainty and the ever-present threat of evil lurking in the shadows. As the lingering effects of the illness continued to wear me down, I became increasingly aware of the intricate web of deception and darkness that enveloped the world. The battle against the organization had only scratched the surface, and now I found myself delving deeper into the heart of their sinister operations. Gathering the fragments of information I had uncovered, I embarked on a perilous journey to expose the organization's true agenda and dismantle their network once and for all. With each passing day, my strength waned, but my determination burned brighter than ever. Following a trail of cryptic clues and hidden connections, I found myself in the heart of the organization's stronghold, a labyrinth of hidden chambers and clandestine meetings. Fear coursed through my veins, but I knew there was no turning back. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I had a role to play in this deadly game. As I navigated the treacherous halls, every step filled with the weight of uncertainty, I encountered loyal followers of the organization, fiercely devoted to their cause. Engaging in tense confrontations and harrowing escapes, I clung to a flicker of hope, knowing that my actions could bring an end to their reign of terror. Amid the shadows, I discovered the true magnitude of their malevolence. They were not content with a mere disease or world-ending catastrophe. Their ultimate goal was to control the very essence of life itself, wielding power over humanity's existence. They sought to become gods in a twisted realm of their creation, manipulating the boundaries between life and death. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I faced the organization's enigmatic leader, a figure shrouded in darkness and wielding an otherworldly influence. The confrontation crackled with tension as their chilling words echoed through the air, promising an inevitable descent into chaos and suffering. But I refused to succumb to their machinations. Summoning every ounce of strength I had left, I confronted the leader with unwavering determination. A battle of wills ensued as I hurled accusations and exposed their heinous crimes to the world. In a climactic clash, I fought not just for my own survival but for the future of humanity. The walls reverberated with the sounds of struggle, the clash of steel, and the ethereal whispers of the organization's dark rituals. With a final surge of energy, I struck a decisive blow, toppling the leader and shattering the illusion of their invincibility. The stronghold trembled, and the echoes of their evil deeds faded into the void. As the dust settled, a newfound peace washed over me. The weight of the world lifted from my shoulders, replaced by a glimmer of hope. The organization lay in ruins, its power broken, and its influence scattered like ashes in the wind. But the scars remained, both physical and emotional. The illness that had plagued me was a constant reminder of the horrors I had faced. The journey had taken its toll, leaving me forever changed. In the aftermath, I emerged from the shadows, determined to rebuild what had been shattered. I vowed to shed light on the organization's dark secrets, ensuring that the world would never forget the depths of human depravity. The story I had lived through was a chilling reminder of the darkness that could lurk within us all. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the capacity for courage and sacrifice in the face of unspeakable horrors. As I walked away from the remnants of the organization, a sense of closure mingled with a lingering unease. The battle was won, but the scars of the past would forever haunt me. The world had been spared one catastrophe, but others would inevitably arise. It was a reminder that vigilance and unity were paramount in the face of the ever-present shadows. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose, I ventured forth, ready to confront whatever nightmares the future held, armed with the knowledge that even in the face of darkness, there would always be those who would rise to fight for the light.